is our normal 75-minute class. It's a Hatha class. And we're going to be looking quite intensely at our theme today, which is the fourth chakra, the Anahata Chakra. It's a standalone class, so don't worry if you weren't here for the first 3 chakras. This is, I think, probably the most important one with the best learning for us, especially in the environment that we're in at the moment. It's the chakra of love, of empathy, of compassion. We're going to today be doing quite a lot of backbends in order to open up this heart chakra and help give it a bigger house and a bigger place to spin. This chakra, if you can imagine it, is green, and it sits just in front of the spine, just behind the heart. And even if this to you is a sort of hocus pocus crazy idea, suspend that disbelief for today and think of this as a psychological and spiritual guide, another way of looking at yourself and your life and the way that you see yourself in the world and the universe around you, as you are now. I want you to begin in a really nice backbend, a very passive backbend, which is going to be, as we quite often do, lying over your block at the top of the mat. So get your block. If you don't have a block, then just get your towel and roll it up really tight. And I actually recommend if you're using your block, or Lisa, using your sort of container, to get a towel and put it over it so that it softens it a little bit. And even adds a little bit of height. So Maria too, if you've got a towel or a blanket, put it on top of your block and make sure that your block is facing east-west. And I'll show you now, whilst you're setting up, what it is that you're going to be doing. If you know that you're quite flexible in your upper back, this block can be quite high. You could turn it up to the second setting. What you're going to be doing is this: knees bent the whole time. You're going to lie over your block and interlace your fingers behind your head to hold the weight of your head in your arms like this. And the block is going more or less where your bra strap line is, maybe a little bit higher than that. I want you to be comfortable. So if you find that you're lying over a spot that feels too tight, you're probably lying too close to your neck. You need to scooch a little bit more back. Don't move the block, move yourself. So that you're really feeling like your heart is being pressed up and you're opening up your chest. You stay here. I'm coming out, but you stay here. How are you there, Shilpa? Have you got something there? That's it. So you're going to stay here for a good couple of minutes. Make sure that you're in a position that's really comfortable. If you need to put a cushion underneath the back of your head, please do. I want you to lie here in a very passive way, so you really feel like you're kind of melting over the prop. Keep your eyes open, keep your knees bent the whole time. Put your feet quite wide apart from each other, and your knees a little closer to each other. So the Anahata Chakra is about love. It's about compassion. The sense of this chakra is the sense of touch. The animals associated with it are birds, particularly the dove. It's about balance, relationships, receiving with grace, unconditional love, openness, giving, empathy, and spaciousness. It's about loving not from a need, not from a place of need, but from a place of empathy. You think that the world is an intricate web of relationships, and it's bound together with this force of love. The chakras that we've looked at recently, the first, second, and third, are about earth and water and fire. So earth stays rigid and fixed. Water takes the form of its container. Fire clings to its fuel. But air, the element of this chakra, air fills a space evenly and symbolizes equilibrium, calm, and evenness. 'Cause, 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 'cause Take a few more long breaths here. So lengthen your breathing now. Breathing in really deeply and exhaling completely. Being still, filling up all of your energy, all of your body, all of the tissues in your body with your breath, with evenness and calm. I often think of this chakra as being not just the center of the 7 chakras, but the eye of the storm, the center of calm, the center of peace. Think of yourself as that right now. A center of calm, a center of peace. The heart of the matter. Now from here, if your eyes are closed, open up your eyes. And then roll over onto one side, it doesn't matter which, so that you can then really drop one hand down to the floor and push yourself up into a seated position and move the towel, the prop, whatever it may be, away to the side of your mat. You're going to need the block or the container, whatever it is, again, but not yet, just put it to one side. Now come into a kneeling position. Bring your hands onto your legs and sit nice and tall. Bring your shoulders gently back, raise your heart and press your tailbone down. Make sure that your big toes are beside each other, side by side, rather than one over the other. And close your eyes again, just for a few moments. Notice the left and the right sides of your body. Notice if you're leaning more to one side or the other, and try and create more equilibrium, more balance between the two. Now open your eyes and bring your left hand down to the floor and reach your right arm up over your head. And then as you bend your left elbow and drop your left shoulder, bring your right arm over a little bit more. As you turn your chest up a little bit more towards the ceiling, don't reach too much, reach with gentleness and softness. Then bring your right hand down and bring your left arm up. You stay here. I'm just going to make sure that I've muted you all. And then bring that hand down. Good. Okay. And then from here, bring your arms up and twist towards the right. And raise your heart up a little bit more. I want you to be very aware today of this heart center and of the lower ribs, the center lower ribs. Kind of knit them towards each other and up. So you're raising your breastbone. Come back to center and then twist to the other side. Relax your shoulders when you do this. And again, raise your heart. Relax your shoulders a little bit more. Press your tailbone down towards your toes. Maybe twist a bit more. Quite a lot of power going on here as well. And then come back into center. And then come into puppy dog pose. So from here, I'm going to turn, but you might want to stay where you are. Walk your hands forward to the front of your mat. Walk your knees back a little bit so that when you do this pose, your thigh bone is straight up and down on both sides. And then reach a little bit more forward and bring your forehead to the floor. This pose, Anahata Asana, is actually named after the Anahata Chakra. Here you're really opening up your heart. Rest the weight of your head on your mat or on your blanket or towel. And keep pressing your tailbone down to the backs of your knees as you squeeze your arms really straight and strong, like you would do in downward facing dog. So no bent elbows here, you're strong here. And even turn the inner elbow creases up a little bit more towards the ceiling. Now come into downward facing dog. So raise your head, maybe walk your hands back a little bit, tuck your toes under. Make sure your index fingers are pointing forwards as you pick up your knees and press back. Now pedal your heels very slowly. On an inhalation, do one side, and on your exhalation, do the other side. And again, keep your arms straight and strong. The body parts associated with this chakra are obviously the heart, but also the arms and the hands. So it's really going to make these very sensorial, these elements of touch. Our hands are super sensitive. They're going to be important today in our sequence as well. Now make your downward facing dog nice and still. Press your heels down, push your hands forward. Really press down through your fingerprints, clawing the mat. Now put a little bend in your knees and look forwards, look between your hands, and walk your feet forward. Separate your feet when you get to the top of your mat and raise your chest and look up. Ardha Uttanasana. Stay here, raise your chest, raise your heart away from the floor. Press your heels down as you do this and push 3 fingers of each hand into the floor. If your knees are bent, that's fine. And then fold to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Push your fingers down really strongly. Again, bent knees is absolutely acceptable. Now coming to standing, bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, come all the way up, bring your arms up, look at your hands, reach to the sky, and then bring your hands down to your heart. So squeeze your legs here as you do this, strong legs. Now bring your hands onto your hips, turn so that you're facing towards me if you're not already. So yeah, Lisa, it doesn't matter, you've got 2 screens here, haven't you? And bring your feet together. Now step your right foot forward, just a normal, easy step length. And then bring your left foot, your back foot, a little bit more behind you. And then place both feet flat on the floor. So move your body weight back a little bit. So you're a little bit off kilter here, a bit off balance. Squeeze your legs towards each other. You can really feel your inner thighs pressing towards each other here. Exaggerate that. Now bring your arms all the way up. Squeezing your legs, knit the lower ribs in towards each other. Now grab your right wrist. Inhale into the right side of your body, and as you exhale, crescent moon over towards the left. Now be aware here of the left side of your chest, and turn it up a little bit more towards the ceiling. The left armpit rises up a bit more towards the ceiling. Keep squeezing your legs and press down evenly through the soles of both feet. Now come up, bring your hands down, and change sides. So step that right leg back, step the left foot forward, try and get the same distance in the crisscross of your legs. Squeeze your legs towards each other, bring your arms up. Grab the left wrist, inhale here, and as you exhale, over to the right. And once you've sort of found this shape and this balance, make little adjustments by moving the right side of your chest up a little bit more towards the ceiling. Keep the length in the left side of your body. Even use the strength of your right hand to pull that hand over a little bit more. And lean maybe a little bit more if you've got that space. Now come all the way up. Bring both your hands down. Bring your feet together. Good. Notice how you feel here. Maybe a little bit taller. Come to the front of your mat. We're going to do 3 Sun Salutations with some backbend variations. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. And as you exhale, fold, go to Uttanasana. I've got a plant in the way here. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, go back into plank pose. Now, squeeze your arms straight and strong. And again, slightly claw the mat. So when you look at your hands, you can see the whites of your fingernails really sort of light up. Push your feet down more than you need to so that your belly can rise up towards your spine. And then move your heart a little bit more forward, coming right onto the tips of your toes. For Chaturanga Dandasana, bring your knees down, pick up your feet, cross your ankles, lower your chest just a little bit. Keep pressing your tailbone down to the floor so your lower abs are toning. Now for Cobra, bring the tops of your feet down to the floor, bring your thighs and your pubic bone down, and curl up. Make this a low cobra. Just shine your heart a little lower as you press your hands back towards your feet. Now squeeze your legs and then go back to downward facing dog. So either curl your toes under or roll over them, push the floor away and press back. Press your heart towards your thighs as you reach your hands forward to the front of the mat. The sticky mat's keeping your hands in place, but you're pressing your hands forward. Let your head hang. No tension in your neck and your shoulders. Now put a little bend in your knees and look forward. Either walk or step your right foot and your left foot to the top of the mat. Raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold. Come into standing, bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, come all the way up. Look at your hands, reach for the ceiling again, squeeze your legs and then bring your hands down in towards your heart. Now before we do the next two sun salutations, I want you to get your block. So put your block or your container or whatever you've got in between your shins. Ella, is that a toolbox? It's a lunchbox, isn't it? That's very good, excellent. Sweet. Is that Thomas the Tank Engine? Oh, it's something like that. Okay, squeeze the block. Okay, yeah. Maria, you've got a block though, right? Okay, squeeze the block and then put your hands down by your sides. Yeah, Maria, get your block. That's a book, isn't it? I think you had a block before. No, sorry. It was a book that you showed me. This is fine, you're all good. Keep squeezing whatever you've got in between your legs. That sounds terrible. And then bring your arms all the way up. Grab your right wrist, inhale here, and then lean to the left. Squeeze the block. Now come all the way up. Grab the other wrist, inhale here, and then go to the other side. Squeeze the block. Good, leaning over, guys, and then come all the way up. Bring your hands down by your side. Now, inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, fold back to Uttanasana. Keep the block in place. We're going to do a whole sun salutation using the block. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. If you drop the block, it's okay. And then walk back into plank. Now, this is tricky. Be playful here. If you drop it, don't worry about it. Just try and put it back in place. Now keep pressing the block. The reason we're doing this is I want you to really strengthen your inner thighs and strengthen your legs, because you can't shine your heart, you can't have empathy unless you've got a good strong foundation of your own. Keep squeezing your legs. Now for Chaturanga Dandasana, yes, we're going to do it. Bring your knees down to the floor, pick up your feet, don't cross your ankles, just squeeze the block and come part way down. Keep pressing your tailbone down towards the floor. Then Cobra. Bring the tops of your feet down to the floor. Let that block kind of slide up a little bit to the ceiling, that's fine, as you bring your legs down. Pubic bone down, squeeze the block. Now, Cobra is a really good way here for you to exercise that. Really squeeze the block. As you press your hands back towards your feet, see if you can peel your heart up a little bit more and shine it forwards. Well done, downward facing dog. Keep the block, pick it up, tuck your toes under, lift up and press back. Now this is a tricky bit. Bend your knees, look forwards, and I think just do little bunny hops. And then once you've got close enough, you can then walk your feet forwards. Raise your chest, look up for Ardha Uttanasana. I'm going to wait for you guys to catch up because that was pretty tricky. And as you exhale, fold to normal Uttanasana. Do make sure your hands are on the floor, so bend your knees if you need to. Good. Then coming up to standing, push your heels down, keep squeezing the block, bring your arms out to the side, come all the way up, strong inner thigh, strong adductor muscles. Hands together and down to your heart. Now, take the block away. My mail has just come across the screen. I'm just going to get rid of that. Stand in Uttanasana at the top of your mat. Good, got your back. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. And as you exhale, fold. Now the block is there, the phantom block is there. Keep squeezing it. Inhale, raise your chest, look up.
And as you exhale, walk back into plank. Okay, the block's not there for now, but it's back in plank. Move your heart more forward, so you're right on the tips of your toes. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your bottom, and squeeze the imaginary block. If you want to do Chaturanga with straight legs now, be my guest. Otherwise, bring your knees down to the floor, cross your ankles, and everyone come part way down. Coming into Cobra, lower your lower body to the floor, but keep your heart rising up. Squeeze the imaginary block. You might even be able to bring your feet together here. Squeeze your shoulders towards each other on your back. Press your hands back towards your feet. Back to downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Push the floor away. Lift up and press back. Breathe in deeply. And exhale slowly. Breathe in deeply. And exhale slowly. One more time. Breathe in deeply. And exhale slowly. Now breathe in deeply, bend your knees and look forward. And as you exhale, step your left foot, then your right foot to the top of the mat. Breathe in deeply, raise your chest as you raise up to Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale slowly as you fold to Uttanasana. Bend your knees, come up to standing. Inhale, raise all the way up. Bring your hands together and then down in towards your heart. Good. Now turn so that you're facing the long end of your mat. Bring your arms out to the sides and step wide. Step so wide that you feel like your ankles are underneath your wrists. Like you're the vitruvius man. Press down through the outside edges of your feet and come straight into warrior two. So turn your right foot out, bend your right knee, Virabhadrasana 2. That's it. So in order to really feel love, you need to be strong in your legs so you can rise your heart up. Press down with the back foot. I often think of this pose as not so much the sort of physical fighting warrior, but the spiritual warrior from within. So raise your heart up. Keep moving the left ribs back, but look over your right hand. Strong legs, rising heart. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Now try and keep your arms like this as you straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes towards me and then turn the left foot out. Warrior 2 on the other side. Bend the left knee. That's it. So quite a long hold here. Press your hands away from each other as you press down strongly through the outside edges of both of your feet. Try and keep your arms up. I know this is hard, but you are stronger than you think. Keep looking over your left hand. I'm looking towards you, but you look at your left hand. See if you can move that left knee a little bit more out to the left. 3, 2, 1. Now bring your hands onto your hips. Yeah, I have some empathy here, I understand. Straighten that left leg and then turn all of your 10 toes again towards the long edge of the mat. Well done. Now heel toe your feet together. Dish, dish, dish. Good. Now we're going to come into some big back bends now. So come again to the front of the mat. Bring your arms out to the side and up again into Urdhva Hastasana. And come into chair pose. So bend your knees. If your feet are apart, that's fine. They don't have to be together in this chair pose. Raise your thumbs. Sit a little lower. Press your tailbone down towards your heels. And then fold forward into Uttanasana. Now walk back into downward facing dog. From here, step your right foot forward in between your hands. So just bring the knee up to your nose and step that foot forward. And bring your back knee down. We're going to do some variations of Anjane Asana here. Bring both hands onto your right knee. Come all the way up. Relax your shoulders. Now, a little bit of movement here. Move your bottom back towards your back foot, and then move your bottom forward towards your front foot. Do that 2 more times. Move it back, very slowly, very considered, and then move it forward. Just dynamic, slow stretching here. Go back again if you haven't already. And then final one, come forward and then stay here. Really feel how far you can maybe come, but keep your bottom engaged. Keep pressing this front foot towards the back of the mat. So that, again, you've got leg strength and stability. Keep all of that and bring your arms up. Keep that. You stay where you are. I'm going to just move so that you can see me better. Grab your left wrist, inhale, and then lean over to the right. Keep the leg strength. I know it's hard. Back toes are tucked under, that's good. So you've got a feeling of moving forward, but at the same time, maybe you can move your upper back a little bit more as you lean a little bit more over. Squeeze your bottom here. And then bring the left side of your heart up a little bit more towards that right elbow. Now come back up to center. Release your wrist, touch down, go back to downward facing dog. Feel your legs and your hips here now. Notice the comparison between the left and right. Now, step your left foot forward. So just look in between your hands, pick up that left leg and step. Bring your back knee down. Bring both hands onto your front leg. Come up. We're going to do the same bottom shift thing. So from here, move your bottom back. And then slowly come forwards. Move your bottom all the way back again. So you feel like your femur bone is straight up and down. And come all the way forward. Relax your shoulders. Last time, come all the way back. Come all the way forwards. Now hold this. Lisa, try not to lean. That's it. Yeah, lean back. That's it. Push your hands into your legs so you can really move your chest away from your knee. Squeeze your bottom. Drag that front foot towards the back knee so the back of the leg engages, and then bring both of your arms up. Good stuff. Grab your right wrist. Inhale here, keep the strength in your legs. And yeah, that's it, Shilpa. As you exhale, go towards the left. And again, bring the right side of your chest up a little bit more towards this elbow, towards the sky, towards the ceiling, towards the universe. Keep the legs really strong. 3, you can look up if you want to. If your neck is stiff, then just look forward. 2, 1. Yeah, that's it, Miriam. And then come all the way up. Release both hands. And then touch down, step back to downward facing dog. Well done. Stay here. Keep your breathing nice and long and nice and even. Now, bring your knees down to the floor and sit onto your heels. We're going to punctuate this a little bit. I don't want to do backbend after backbend after backbend, but I also really want us to be very aware of the hands and the arms and the strength that is needed in order to be empathetic and compassionate. So we're going to do Lol Asana. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you now. So from here, in fact, we'll all do this together. Come all the way up into a high kneeling position. This is Pendulum Pose. And cross one shin over the other. It doesn't matter which, we're going to do both sides. So just cross your ankles. Then bring your hands down to the floor, either side of your knees. Then move your hands back a little bit. So it's like the tops of your fingers, where your fingernails are, it's kind of in line with your knees. Then round your back. Push down through the palms of your hands and claw the mat like you were doing in downward facing dog earlier, so you can see the whites of your nails really engage. Now, push your hands down and straighten your arms as you pick your knees up. This is a really strong pose, this. And then if you've got a little bit more strength here, and you can do a bit more, move your feet forward, like jump your feet forward towards your hands, and possibly pick up one foot. And maybe pick up the other foot. Then bring everything down. Well done. And go into downward facing dog. I know, that seems ridiculous, doesn't it? But you did it, you did it. Tuck your toes under, lift up and press back. No, I haven't forgotten about the other side. Bring your knees down to the floor. Walk your hands back and cross the other ankle on top. So we're doing the second side of Lol Asana, Pendulum Pose. Walk your hands back. Now, you don't even have to pick your knees up off the floor, but if you can, push your hands down really strongly, pick your knees up, or coming towards coming off the floor. Second stage is possibly picking up one foot, round your back, and then maybe the other foot comes off too. I can't do that today. 3, keep breathing, whatever you're doing. 2, 1, and then bring everything down. Well done, and go back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands forward, tuck your toes under, press back. Let your abdominal muscles here lengthen as you push your hands forward. Well done, guys. Now from here, walk your hands back towards your feet. So you're at the back of your mat, bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips, and come all the way up. Now bring your feet together and bring your hands into your imaginary jeans pockets and press down. Then raise your heart and bring your elbows closer to each other. As you raise your chin, just a little bit, just raise your chin a tiny bit. Don't drop your head back completely in this pose. We're just going to do a standing back bend. Squeeze your legs and push your heels down. And raise your heart a bit more. Press your bottom down, squeeze your bottom. Press your tailbone towards your heels. Raise your chin a little bit, but keep your neck strong. 3, maybe come back a little bit more. 2, 1. And then come forwards. Inhale, come all the way up. Well done. And then step your right foot forward and your left foot back. Bring your hands to your hips and slowly bring your back knee down to the floor. Good. Now, bring your hands down to the floor either side of your right foot and move your back knee and your back foot back a little bit more. We're going to do Asana again. Press your front foot towards your back knee. Bring your hands onto your hips again and come all the way up. Now interlace your hands behind your back. Index fingers long. Now start to straighten your arms as you press your arms to the sides of the room. So your fingers are keeping your hands clasped, but you're pressing your hands and your arms away from each other. That will help your shoulders really engage and your arms engage. Maybe you can bring your left index fingernail into your inner thigh. If you can, slide it down a bit more. Slightly raise your chin. Don't let your head completely drop back. And maybe come into a little bit more of a deeper pose by bending your front knee, but keep pressing your front foot towards your back knee. Keep that right leg engaged. 3, 2, 1. Now release your hands. Touch down either side of your front foot. Pick up your back knee and stay here. So your hands are on the floor, your back leg is straight, the knee is off the floor. And then come into downward facing dog again. So left hand flat, step the right foot all the way back. Walk your hands back again towards your feet. Stay here in Uttanasana. Press your fingers down firmly. A nice relieving counter pose here in a forward fold. Stay here for a few more breaths. Really press down through the inner and outer heels evenly as you let your head hang. Keep your abs slightly engaged and keep pressing your feet towards each other as if the block was still there, even though your feet are really wide apart now. And if they're not wide apart now, bring them wide apart now. Now coming to standing. Bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips, come all the way up. Stay here, bring your feet together. We're going to do the standing back bend again. Bring your hands into your jeans pockets, maybe a little lower this time. Press in, squeeze your legs. Press your legs towards each other as you raise your heart. Dig down deeper into your jeans pocket. Squeeze your elbows and your shoulders towards each other on your back. Maybe this one can be a little bit deeper, but keep pressing your tailbone down and keep squeezing your legs together. The inner thighs are really toned here to help support your lower back. And then come back up into a normal position. Bring your hands onto your hips. And then step your left foot forward. So just going to come halfway up the mat, step the left foot forward, move the right foot back. Slowly bring your back knee down. Bring your hands down to the floor for a moment and maybe bring that back knee back a little bit more. Get the legs really strong. Press this front foot, this left foot, towards the back knee the whole time. Now bring your hands back into your jeans pocket. Come up. Squeeze your legs strong. And then interlace your fingers the other way. So the other thumb's on top. And then again, keep pressing your hands and your arms away from each other as you straighten your elbows and maybe slide that right index fingernail to the inner thigh. Keep contact there if you can. And as you keep that contact, pressing quite hard, and even try and drag that back knee a little bit more over to the left, and your front foot a little bit over to the right, as you keep pressing that front foot back as well. So I really want you to try and keep your legs toned, the backs of your legs as well as the inner thighs. As you come up a little bit more into Anjali Asana. 3, maybe slide that finger down a bit more towards your knee. 2, raise your heart. 1. Now come all the way up, firm your abs to help you come up, release your hands. Bring your hands to either sides of that front foot. And again, just straighten the back leg, pick the back knee off the floor and stay here. Gently draw your shoulders towards your feet. 3, 2, 1. Now go into downward facing dog. So pick up that front foot as cleanly as you can and step back. Press your chest towards your thighs. And then come back into Anahata Asana. So move your feet back a little bit more. Bring your knees down to the floor. Keep your toes tucked under as you walk your hands forward and bring your forehead to the floor. Notice how this Anahata Asana compares to the first one that you did. Hopefully there's a little more ease in this. Stay here. Keep pressing your tailbone long down towards the back of your knees. A few more breaths here. Here we are in the eye of the storm. In a nice symmetrical pose, opening up your heart. Balance, both hands, both feet, both knees, and the third eye on the floor. Stay here. Then from here, raise your head, come all the way up. Walk your hands back towards your knees and sit back onto your heels. Bring your hands onto your legs. Good. Tabletop. So, sit your bottom down on the floor and bring your feet to the floor like this. And bring your hands onto the floor behind you. Now, separate your feet about hip width apart, so you could put at least one of your feet inside those 2 feet. And then from here, raise your bottom off the floor. Keep looking at your knees the whole time. Coming into tabletop. This is a variation of Purdhasvattanasana, which we're going to do after this. This prepares you really nicely for that pose. Keep looking at your knees. Keep pressing your shoulders towards each other on your back like you do in Cobra. And maybe you can pick up a little bit more. So I could put a whole load of glasses of champagne on your belly and your thighs. 3, 2, now keep pressing your feet back towards your hands. 1, and then come all the way down. Good. Now, the promised Purdhasvattanasana. So from here, you can repeat what we just did, or possibly just watch me for a moment. I'm going to stretch my feet a little bit longer. Come all the way. In fact, no, I'll start here so that you guys can see. So I'm going to start on tabletop, and then possibly lengthen one leg long, and lengthen the other leg long. This can create some cramping in the calf muscles. So if it does, then bend your knees and come back into a normal tabletop. But this is on offer. With your hands, by the way, don't have the hands forward like this. Turn them out to the side at a comfortable angle. Yeah, because this is quite big on the wrists. And you can have your arms at a good 45 degrees, not straight underneath your shoulders. So come into tabletop first. Some of you are already there in Purdhasvattanasana. Well done, Katja. Stay like this, or possibly lengthen your legs long. Now the toes don't have to touch the floor. My feet are a slight freak of nature, they can, but if they don't touch the floor, that's fine. Whatever you're doing, stay here for a couple more breaths. 3, 2, squeeze your legs towards each other, whatever you're doing. 1, well done guys. And then slowly bring your bottom all the way down and bend your knees and bring your feet together. Well done. Navasana. Bring your legs together. We're going to do this once. Pick up your right leg, put it down, raise your heart. Pick up your left leg, bring it down. I say we're going to do this once, so don't feel like you have to conserve energy. Really go for it. Pick up your right leg. Now you can continue with the picking up of one foot at a time, or pick up your left leg as well. Stay like this as you raise your heart, or take your hands up off the floor. Stay like this, or possibly straighten your legs and look at your toenails. If your legs are straight, try and keep your feet just above the level of your eyes. 3, raise your heart. 2, squeeze your legs together. 1, and then bring everything down. Well done, well done. Okay, now lie on your belly. And bring your hands beside your thighs with your palms facing down. Shalabhasana. Squeeze your legs towards each other as if the block were there again. And then pick up your legs. Push your hands into the floor so that your legs can come up a little higher than they normally do. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Now pick up your face and your throat, your shoulders and your arms and your hands. And as you reach your hands towards your feet, press your little fingers towards each other. 3, 2, 1. Now rest. Bring everything down. Bring your arms down. Turn your head to the right so that your left cheek is on the floor. And stay here. When the Anahata Chakra is balanced, we find compassion, which brings kindness and goodwill towards other people. We're able to love without expectations or attachments from a place of unconditional love and understanding. We're able to love people regardless of their behavior towards us. This is a hard chakra to balance. We radiate love because we've created a coherent center within ourselves, which in turn harmonizes with the surrounding circumstances. There are lots of ways to heal this chakra apart from yoga poses. Things like holding a baby, playing with a pet, giving somebody a shoulder massage, receiving a shoulder massage with real openness, without feelings of having to repay, just receiving. Read a heartwarming book, write a gratitude diary, or write loving observations. Write good things about the people in your life. Forgive. Give love, give time. Also, telling a story or recounting an event in your life from the other person's perspective. Now, one more belly down back bend. We're going to do Danurasana, bow pose. So from here, turn your face back down to look at the floor. And again, bring your arms down by your sides. Bend both of your knees. And again, imagine that the block is in between your thighs as you press your knees towards each other. You might even be able to move your thighs closer to each other. Then, pick your thighs up off the floor, move them back towards each other again, pick up your hands, bend your knees more so you can reach around for your ankles, press your knees towards each other again, and then curl up as you push your feet back. Keep pressing your knees towards each other. That's really important in this pose today. So the legs are strong and the heart can lift. 3, 2. If you can raise your chin a bit more and it's comfortable, then do. 1. Now again, release everything and rest. Turn your head in the other direction. Very difficult to be loving and understanding when you're tired, so rest here. Notice all the muscles on the back of your body melt. Let them melt. Let them let go. I'm going to read you a quote here that I've put up quite a lot recently on the net. This is by Leo Buscaglia. I think it's a lovely quote, this, and it really does refer to this chakra. He says, "Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around." Stay here for a few more breaths. And then please again, come back into downward facing dog. So raise your head, bring your hands by the sides of your ribs, lift up, press back. So use the power of the chakra below the heart, the chakra, the sacral chakra of will, of force, of inertia to bring yourself back up into downward facing dog. It's very difficult to go from relaxation straight into action, but you can do it. You've got the power. Now we're going to do one more back bend, and then we're going to come into forward folds and twists. So bring your knees down to the floor and come up again into a high kneeling position. And get your block, your food container, whatever it may be, and put the block on the floor, but in between your knees. It's like a spacer. That's it. So catch it, maybe not so high. Lower it down one more level so you've got, yeah, that's it. Too small is not so easy. Good, Maria. That's it, everyone. Excellent. Good. Now, squeeze the block, or whatever it is. Then tuck your toes under. So we're going to do Ustrasana, Camel Pose, the variation being the toes are tucked under. Try and keep pressing your knees into the block the whole time with about 50% of your capacity. So Maria, put the book on the floor. Yeah, so you don't have to hold it up. That's it, good. Okay. Now, hands in the jeans pockets again. Press down, squeeze the block. Raise your heart. And then slightly raise your chin, but only a little bit. I don't want you to drop the complete weight of your head back. Keep your neck muscles engaged throughout this pose. Now squeeze the block a little bit more and raise your heart a little bit more. Keep squeezing the block. Now you can stay here with your hands in your jeans, or possibly take your right hand away and maybe you can feel your right heel. If not, then just keep your hands back in your jeans pockets. If you've got the right heel, then maybe the left hand can come down. But whatever you're doing, keep squeezing that block, or at least keep in contact with the block, and move your pubic bone forward. So try not to move your entire body back towards your feet. Stay here. 3, 2, keep moving your thighs forward. Try not to drop your head back completely. 1, that's it, Shilpa, raise your, yes. And then bring your right hand onto your right hip, if it's back, and then your left hand, and stay up. Now you're really tempted here to come to child's pose. Don't do that. Try and stay up. That's it. Keep your head up. Squeeze the block again. We're going to do it one more time. So hands back in the jeans. Press down. Squeeze your bottom. You can feel here if your bottom's engaged or not. Engage it. Squeeze the block again. Raise your heart. Press your elbows and your shoulders towards each other on your back. Slightly raise your chin. Now, if possible, reach around with your left hand and then your right hand for your heel. If not, then just keep your hands in your jeans. And then move your thighs forward, your pubic bone away from your heels. Look down the sides of your nose. That will help you to keep your neck engaged. And squeeze the block again. 3, 2, 1. Left hand on left hip, right hand on right hip. Downward facing dog, not child's pose. Downward facing dog. So just move the block away. Place your hands forward, lift up the knees, press back. Notice how you feel here, having done that very deep back bend. Now you can come into child's pose. Just wanted the spine to take time to adhere. So Big toes touch side by side. In this child's pose, bring your hands by the sides of your feet with your palms facing up and rest your forehead on the floor. You might feel a bit rusty and creaky coming into a deep forward fold. So be kind to yourself. Accept that this child's pose might feel a bit alien. Stay here for a few more breaths. Again, the eye of the storm. We're in stillness and peace here. A moment alone. As the busyness of the world swirls around you, let that be. Notice the left and the right sides of your body again, the balance. Try and soften both sides equally. Now, coming out of child's pose, push your toenails down and raise your head up. And we're going to come into rabbit pose. And this one is really going to stretch and open up the muscles on your back, which have been really tight until now, really toned. So come back up to hands and knees and tuck your toes under. Then walk your hands back towards your knees so that you can bring your hairline down to the floor. Keep your bottom up and then reach around with one hand and then the other hand to get your heels and hook your fingers around your heels as you then pick your bottom up again and really stretch your arms. So you're moving your body weight forward so that you really have to hook your hands strongly around your heels, and that will really open up all the space in between your shoulder blades, which until now you've been toning and strengthening. So now you're stretching it and letting it go. You might even feel this in your lower back as well. Stay here for a couple more breaths. And this is a little bit of an awkward pose, but it's worth staying. You might even be able to tuck your chin under a little bit more and lengthen the back of your neck as well. But don't put too much weight onto your head. And then slowly release. Bring your hands to the floor. Sit down. Sit down onto your towel. So have your towel nicely folded. The folded bit is pointing forward. So you're going to be sitting on the folded bit, not on the sort of untidy taily bits. That will give you a little bit more support. So sit your sitting bones right at the front of the fold. So don't sit back too much, sit right forward. So that when you bring your legs down, the backs of your thighs are on your mat, they're not on the blanket. It's just your sitting bones that are on the fold. How's that? Okay, we're going to do, oh, that's a lovely smile. So now, that's you, Maria. For everyone, lovely smiles. So from here, Janu Shirshasana. Bend your right knee, bring the sole of your right foot into your left thigh. Shift yourself around a bit as you need to, and actually move your bottom back a little bit here. Good. So you really feel your sitting bones on your blanket. Now, turn your chest so that it's facing towards the top of your left foot, and bring both hands onto your leg. Now reach forward a little bit more so your hands are a little bit beyond the knee, and then raise your chest. Move your right ribs forward towards your left big toe, and look at all of those toes and make sure they're really pointing up rather than going out towards the side. They're straight up. Then from here, bend your elbows and slowly start to fold forward. Now when you do this, bring your navel in towards your spine, so your abdominal muscles are toned, and keep squeezing this left leg strong. And then come to the point where your body says to you, that's enough, and maybe even back off a little bit. You might find that you can reach for your foot. Whatever you're doing, at this point now, raise your chest, and as you exhale, possibly fold a little bit as you move your chest more towards your foot. If you have got your foot with your hands, bring your elbows up away from the floor so that you can broaden your collarbones. And please don't worry about the depth that you're coming into this pose. I want you to really put your attention on how you're feeling and what's going on in the back of this leg and your lower back here. Try not to raise your head and look up, just look down at your left shin. And then from here, raise your chest, look up. Walk your hands back up your leg. and come into stargazer. So bring your right hand down to the floor, onto the outside of your right hip. Reach your left arm up, then pick your bottom up and bring the sole of your left foot to the floor as you raise your heart up, and then bring your left arm over your left ear, like you do in side angle pose. As you push down with your right hand, your right knee, your left foot, reach up. Now look up at the ceiling, or imagine you're looking up at the stars, really like a stargazer. And get more length in the left side of your body. So really push your left hand away from your foot. And then come all the way down. Oh, nice, very good. So we do those two poses on the other side. Lengthen your right leg, bend your left leg. Janishishasana on this side. This right leg, really strong. Squeeze it strong. Now, turn your chest. Bring both hands onto the floor beside your knee. Raise your chest, look up. Now, look at your right foot. Make sure the toes are pointing up. Feel free to stay like this, or possibly hinge forward a little bit more and grab just below your knee. Then come up again. Stay like this, or possibly come down again, bringing your elbows out to the side. All the time with this background awareness of moving the left wrist towards your big toe. And maybe raise your chest again, perhaps coming in a little bit deeper. And if you've got enough flexibility to go for your foot with your hands, do that. Whatever you're doing, raise your chest a little bit more, raise your elbows up to the ceiling, and then maybe come forward a bit more. All the time, squeezing your right leg strong. Stay here. Breathe in deeply, and breathe out slowly. Really be aware of how it feels in the back of your body here. From the back of your head, the back of your neck, all the way down both sides of your spine. Down the back of your right leg. Let the left leg, the bent leg, be heavy. Now whatever you're doing and whatever depth of the pose you're in, raise your chest halfway up and then walk your hands back. And come into stargazer again. So bring your left hand down to the floor beside your left hip. Raise the right arm up. Push down to pick your bottom up. Make sure you're turning your left fingers out towards the left. And then reach with your right hand as you push your right foot into the floor. Pick up your hips a little bit more. Maybe even move your hips more forward. Raise up, reach up. Now look up. Really pressing down strong with your legs and your left hand so that you can rise up. And then come all the way down. And then bring the soles of your feet together. So you've done a lot of toning and strengthening of the inner thighs. Now is the opportunity to lengthen and stretch. Hands on the floor behind you. Press your feet together quite strongly. Bring your shoulders back. It's just started raining here. Is it raining with you? It's funny for the morning, no, Maria? Yeah? Now stay here with your hands on the floor behind you. It's so funny, isn't it? We're all together, but we're not. It's raining with me, but not with you. And then option here to bring your hands around your feet. Raise your chest, whatever you're doing, even if your hands are on the floor behind you. Option here to possibly come forward a little bit more. But again, be aware of what's going on in your hips. Don't force anything. Keep pressing your feet towards each other. Squeeze your bottom a little bit here so that you feel your glutes coming up towards your sitting bones, supporting the stretch. Now if you're forward, come up. Everyone bring your hands onto the floor behind you if they're not already there. Excellent. And then lengthen your legs long. So a little bit more of a stretch. This time you're going to feel it maybe a little bit more in the inner knees. Good. Hands on the floor behind you, so Upavista Konasana. Squeeze your legs strong. Stay up with your hands behind you, or possibly come forward. Now in the same pattern of when we did Janishishasana, raise your chest. Stay like this, or possibly bend your elbows and come forward a bit more. Pause at that resistance, the beginning of the resistance. Then raise your chest again. Possibly come forward a little bit more with your hands. And again, as soon as you feel the beginnings of your thighs saying, wait, 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 stop. And then raise your chest again. And possibly come down a little bit more. Keep squeezing your legs the whole time. This is the sort of the final option to go deeper into the pose. If you can take it a little bit further, please do. We're going to be here for about 10 more seconds. Keep moving your chest away from your tailbone and lengthening the back of your heart towards the back of your head. So you really feel like you're stretching all the tissues around your spine. Might even help you to drag your hands back a little bit more towards your body, and then you'll feel that you can move the top of your head more forward or more away from your tailbone. Now please come all the way up. Bring your hands under your legs and hoist them up. And then bring one hand down to the floor so you can move the blanket away and put it beside where your head is going to be in Shavasana. We're going to come into Shavasana in a minute. First, I want you to do a reclined twist. So from here, sit in the middle of your mat and come all the way down. Take your ponytail out and cross your right leg over your left leg. We're going to do a reclined twist with the legs in eagle pose. So push your left foot down, pick your bottom up, move it over to the right, quite a lot over to the right, like a good 10 centimeters. And then drop both of your knees over to the left. Move your feet out of the way, a little bit more over to the right so you've got space. And then bring the backs of your hands to the floor. Both of your arms about 45 degrees away from your body, maybe even up a little bit higher. And then relax your arms, relax your shoulders. Be very passive in this pose. If you want to draw your knees a little bit more up towards your left shoulder, feel free to do that. You can even experiment with drawing them up and then bringing them back down and deciding which level of your legs is nicer, which one is helping you to stretch around your glutes and lower back and the right lower waist to the way that suits you today. And then soften your feet. Maybe even wiggle your toes a little bit first, and then be really still in your feet. And as we stay here a little longer, if you want to deepen the stretch, press your left elbow down strongly, pick up the left back ribs, and then move them a little closer to that left elbow. And you'll find that the back right ribs can drop down a little bit more towards the floor. You've intensified the twist. Your face is facing up towards the ceiling. Make sure that your head is over towards the right shoulder or the left, that it's very much in the center. A few more breaths here. Really be aware of the lengthening in the right side of your body. And let that release and soften maybe a little bit more. Perhaps dropping your knees down. Soften your calf muscles. And then coming out of the pose, push your left hand down so you can bring your knees up. Uncross your legs. Now shift your bottom back to center. Cross your left leg over your right. Push your right foot down quite firmly so you can really move your bottom over towards the left. Then drop your knees to the right and move your feet to the right as well. And again, shift yourself around so that you're comfortable. You can even push your right elbow down a bit now and move the back right ribs over to the right. Remember, it takes a little bit of time to really sink into this pose, so be patient. Draw your right knees up a little closer to your right hand if you want to. And again, you can try that, see how it feels, adapt, maybe go back to how it was before. And then really try and soften. The left shoulder is coming up a little bit here, but try and drop it down to the floor as much as you can. Release the calf muscles, release your legs completely. Bring your attention to your feet. Again, wiggle your toes just for a moment, so that when you now let them be still, you know that your feet are as relaxed as they can be. Maybe even soften them a little bit more. Now bring your awareness to the length that you've created from your left shoulder to your left knee. Breathe into that as you let the right side of your body soften and drop towards the floor. Make sure your head is positioned well, that your neck isn't too tight. You might even want to tuck your chin slightly under. So the back of your neck is nice and long. Now coming out of this stretch, push your feet down so that you can bring your knees up. Uncross your legs. Bring your bottom back to center. And then again, cross your right leg over your left, but this time draw your knees in towards your chest. Bring your left hand onto your first knee, your right hand onto the second. And draw your knees gently and slowly in towards your chest. Notice what's happening here in both of your hips. Make sure you haven't got the left hip hitched up towards your left shoulder. You feel like your hips are pretty squarely placed, parallel to your shoulders. And then for the last couple of breaths in this pose, turn your feet in one direction and then the other direction. Bringing your ankles into that full circle of motion. Then be still. And take your hands off your knees, uncross your legs and cross the other way. Again, place your hands onto your legs. Take your time. Notice how your left hip feels here. Again, make sure that your hips are square. You don't have one hip up higher towards one shoulder. Notice here where your lower back is in contact with the floor, and let it really drop down to the floor. Really feel that strong sacral region just above your tailbone is in contact with the ground. It's earth. And then again, a couple of foot turns in both directions. And then still feet. Take your hands away, uncross your legs, bring your feet down to the floor. Now roll over onto your side. I know you want to come into Shavasana, but nearly. Come up into a seated position. We're going to do a 1-minute meditation. As we go up the chakras, we're becoming a little bit more spiritually aware and mentally aware. So now is a good time for us to bring in some meditation in each of these weeks. So sit comfortably. If you want to put your bottom on top of your blanket, do so. You're going to be here for about a minute. Bring your hands onto your knees. Yeah, that's it, Miriam. Bring your hands onto your knees and then slide your hands back towards your legs and turn your palms up. Don't reach for your knees because then you have to sort of feel the weight of your arms. So slide your hands, that's it, back. Make sure your fingers are loosely curled. Close your eyes and lengthen the back of your head up a little bit more towards the ceiling. Notice here that you're centrally seated. So if you're moving forwards or backwards or left or right, adjust that. But bear in mind that you are going to feel some movement as you sit. So don't feel like you have to sit rigidly. Sit with stillness, but also with ease. Now, following the breath, bring your attention now to how, when you breathe in through your nose, you feel the passage of air rasping inside your nostrils and down the back of your throat. And notice how it feels when you exhale. You may even feel that one nostril is a little more open than the other. That's very normal. Try and keep your attention focused on noticing the breath as I time for 1 minute. Before I do, your mind is going to wander off many times. The point is that you notice that and keep bringing your breath back to keep bringing your mind back to following your breath. So I'm going to time 1 minute and I'll ring the bell when it's time to finish. So sit tall, adjust, relax your shoulders, and I'm timing 1 minute from now. Keep following your breath. Now stay here for a few more moments. That's your 1 minute. And review how that went. To go back to how that meditation went and notice the quality of your focus. How was it? Were you able to keep bringing your focus back to following your breath? Maybe roughly think about how many times you were able to. It may only be once or twice. You may have had your mind completely off, thinking about something else the whole time. That's okay. Meditation is a practice, and I really don't want you to think about doing it well or doing it badly. You just do it as it is. Just notice it, what thoughts were coming into your mind. What's important to you at the moment. And then open your eyes and go down into Shavasana. So, as I've been saying in lots of our other online classes, it's really nice that you have a towel, bring it to where your head is going to be, and make sure it's quite flat. So that from here, you're able to come all the way down, so bring your elbows down, lie your head onto your towel. It doesn't matter whether your head is the front or the back of your mat. And make sure that the bottom of your towel is touching the tops of your shoulders. And then bring your hands to your towel and crunch it in around your neck. So you feel the sides of your neck are being held and deposited by your towel. And then bring the towel all around the top and the sides of your head as well. And you'll find when you take your hands away that it falls away a little bit, but you might still feel some of that touch. Then bring your arms down by your sides. Press your elbows slightly down so that you can draw your shoulder blades underneath your back. Some of you have got something over your eyes, that's great. If you don't have anything under your eyes, that's fine, just close your eyes. Make sure that your fingers aren't straight, that they're loosely curled. As you stay here in Shavasana, I'm going to read a poem to you and then I'm going to be quiet. This is a poem very much related to the Anahata Chakra. It's a sonnet, actually, and by Shakespeare. It's sonnet 130. Very much about unconditional love. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes there is more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied or false compare. Now slowly bend your knees, one leg at a time. Roll over onto your right side and stay lying down. So she'll lie back down again onto your side. That's it. Yeah. And as you lie here, notice your breathing. Don't change the cadence or the depth of your breath. Just notice your breathing and breathe into the back of your heart. Draw your breath into the back of your heart. Notice it expanding and contracting with each inhalation and exhalation. Feel that warmth. And feel the breath supporting the greenness of that chakra. Now press down with your left hand and then with your right hand and bring yourself up into a tall, seated position. When you get here, close your eyes and bring your hands into your heart. Really press the base of your thumbs into your breastbone and turn your fingers slightly away from you as you then lower your chin. Now release your hands and bring your palms face up onto your thighs. The backs of your hands are pressing down into your legs. Then raise your heart, raise your chin, and open your eyes. Namaste. And namaste to Evelyn watching the recording. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to unmute you.